What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another video. Happy to have you guys here. Today, I really want to emphasize and stress the importance of targets and stops for my trade recap here today. So let's get into it. So as we know, CPI data came out this morning. Yes, it was lower than expected, but still higher than it needs to be for a healthy economy. However, price really showed nothing to warrant what our next move would be macro. So again, as a day trader, all I need is a small little piece of the move in order to make a good profit and make good money. Today, again, at CPI data, we did form a nice little demand zone here that would later be taken out, correct? And we also have our value area high and low here today. So pre-market, prior to any CPI data coming out, I had a higher time frame supply here and my lower time frame demand here. Those were kind of what I was looking at for the day. However, once CPI came out around 8 a.m. Eastern, I was able to at least move my demand zone up to here and really start to get a little from that standpoint. Really, I knew that we had a strong high here. So in order for me to be extremely bullish, I would want price to maybe break structure here, pull back onto the 5-minute demand, and then play the push higher. In my pre-market plan inside of Slack that I post in every single day, I actually pointed out this one thing. I was like, one possible thing that we could do today is a rip higher, stop hunt these highs, and we reverse back lower. Again, signifying the bulls really aren't in control, okay? But again, I only took a small piece of this move today, even though we have probably, you could make $1,000 here, $3,000 on this move down, and $1,000 there. Again, I only played a piece of that move, but again, as a trader, that's all you need. So again, just macro view. Again, as we open up, we have the big rip up into our strong high. We basically stop hunt this pre-market or the previous day demand, and again, as a stop hunt, we know stop hunt leads to a fast reversal, correct? So definitely that's what happened. So once we come through this demand, okay, we actually also fall right into value area, okay? Yesterday or on Wednesday, I took a value area short, okay? We had the same exact setup today, but the one thing that was holding me out was this demand. Even when we came through, every time we would just like, when we stop, it looks like we were going to stop on. So I was just patient. I just wanted to wait. Again, I didn't really want to play it. Later on in the day, okay, we also had this demand zone, right? Okay, we had that demand, and we also had this demand. All right, another confluence for this trade here was VAL, right? Plenty of confidence. But again, the point of this video is I want to emphasize the importance of targets and stops, okay? Targets and stops. Okay, so we know as price comes down and rotates, has a value area rotation, we know, okay, that's a pretty good move. I should probably not look for anything else that day, okay? However, what we ended up doing, stop hunting these lows, right? As soon as we got below that, we had an immediate reversal, okay? Again, going down to an even lower time frame, I can see that this is now starting to create a really solid setup. Every single pullback that we have is a good, solid pullback, right? Every time we have a break of structure, we pull back at least 50%, signifying really healthy price action, right? Not a lot of liquidity there, okay? When eventually we stop hunt these lows and we break these highs that were significant highs, right? We have this break of structure that occurs here, okay? I have two confluences, right? My first confluence, okay? My first confluence is we not only stop hunted the lows, but we also had a break of structure to the high, right? That's my first confluence. Typically in most of my trading, and let me draw it up here. Typically in most of my trading, okay, if we stop hunt, let's say we're here, we stop hunt some lows, okay? When we come back and break structure, I typically do not enter on that first pullback. Why? Why is that? Because this is not a strong low, right? This is not a strong low until this high breaks, right? Until this high breaks. So we hadn't even formed a strong low yet when I took this trade. The student asked in the chat today in regards to that, he asked, why did you not wait for a strong low? Again, there's my profits. But again, that's a valid question. And again, I'm going to get into that. That is a valid question. The reason I did not wait for a strong low in this scenario is because of another confirmation, right? So when we get that initial break of structure, okay, typically I would wait for a strong low to form and then another break of structure. When we get this break of structure, okay, again, point, I can decide where I want to enter. Okay, I can enter here. I can enter on a pullback, or I can enter on an even deeper pullback, right? I have options. However, another valid trade, another valid entry is the one I took today. And I'm going to get into that right now. Okay, so looking at this trade here, again, just like I drew up above, again, we stop hunt the lows, okay? And then we have a break in structure of a significant high, okay? Essentially, my entry was based off two things. One, it was based off the formation of a strong low, basically right at 50%. But mostly, it was because we were accepting above value area low, right? So because I had this added confirmation, typically, if I was going to take this trade on this pullback, my stop would need to be down here, okay? Truly, from entry to perfect exit, I would have had at least a 1-to-1. Okay, maybe it could be valid, right? It could have maybe worked, right? But I didn't really have a target there. I wanted to target these highs. I wanted to target fresh liquidity, right? Fresh, untapped liquidity. So in order for me to have a valid 1-to-1, at least 1-to-1 R trade, I needed my stop to be in a valid spot. Okay, when trading value area, trading balance, whatever you want to trade with that method, a good logical place to put your stop is right outside. Okay, right outside. Now, it looks much different if price, let's say price came in, we had the break of structure, okay, we pulled out, and then we broke this high there, and that was my entry, right? If this was my trade, I entered there. Then I could say, okay, I'll put my stop here with this target. That would be more kind of, because we had a strong low. But again, with what I took, that wasn't the case, right? That wasn't the case. So as price comes up and we break structure, okay, we then get a nice solid pullback, and we also get acceptance above where? We get acceptance above VAL, okay? That is telling me that we are back into balance. We should rotate higher, okay? This is where the importance of stops and targets comes into play, okay? This is where the importance of stops and targets comes into play, okay? So again, my entry was literally perfect right there, okay? And then my stop was just right outside of balance, right there, okay? And I was targeting right there, right? Targeting untapped liquidity. Nice little 46 tick play. Again, made a little over $1,200. Okay, really good solid trade. But again, the reasoning is, why did I do it this way? Why was it this way? Okay, rule number one. Okay, stop hunted the lows. Okay, that stop hunt led to rule number two, which was a lower time frame break in structure. Okay. That break in structure led to a healthy pullback and acceptance above VAL. Okay, when I got that acceptance and also a healthy pullback, again, that just gave me the confidence to, with low risk, healthy reward, boom, take the trade. Number 4 was my target, right? Number 4 was my target. So if I would have targeted, let's say I would have targeted VAH or this liquidity there, it would hit my stop. Why? Because that's an unrealistic target. 1 to 6 hour trade is not realistic, right? Now, if I would have had my stop here, I'm a 1 to 1.5 hour trade, and I'm still holding the trade, right? That's not what I want to do on this scenario here. Because I know my risk is so limited, I need to set a realistic target which is right there, that untapped liquidity, right? It's just a realistic target. I know that there's a very good probability that if we hold above VAL, we will at least go try to attempt to make a new high. That is just price action. That is how stocks move. Okay, that's exactly what happened. Again, was able to make a little over $1,200. Really great overall trade, and truly stress-free and low risk. But again, the importance of targets and stops when using value area and balance, okay, is in certain scenarios, it is okay to put your stop right outside of balance. Okay, the only time I would recommend not is when you form a strong low outside of balance. Okay, then I would always have my stop below that strong low. Okay, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something. I know I learn something every time I do a video. But yeah, let me know if anything I can do better. Leave a comment down below of what you learned, and I see you in the next video.